Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am VC Pramod and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces development and upgradation of 14,500 schools across the country under the Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India Yojana. Teachers play a major role in formulation and implementation of new education policy, says Prime Minister. University Grants Commission launches new research fellowship and research grant schemes on Teachers' Day. President Draupadi Murmu confers national awards to distinguished teachers on Teachers' Day. Government to bring new version of the Data Protection Bill and Digital India Act to make online world more accountable for published items. CBI says Delhi Excise policy case still under investigation, no clean chit given to any of the accused. Information and Broadcasting Ministry opens entries for 75 creative minds of tomorrow to identify and encourage young creative talents of filmmaking. Liz Truss is next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Modi congratulates new UK Prime Minister. And in Durand Cup football, Rajasthan United defeats Indian Navy by 2-0. On the occasion of Teachers' Day today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has announced a new initiative, the development and upgradation of 14,500 schools across the country under the Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India PM Shri Yojana. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said these PM Shri schools will become model schools which will encapsulate the full spirit of the national education policy. The PM Shri schools will have a modern, transformational and holistic method of imparting education. Mr. Modi said that he is certain that the PM Shri schools will further benefit lakhs of students across the country in the spirit of national education policy. He said emphasis will be given on a discovery-oriented, learning-centric way of teaching. Prime Minister said the focus will also be on modern infrastructure, including latest technology, smart classrooms, sports and more. He said the national education policy has transformed the education sector in the recent years. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has stressed on the need to imbibe the national education policy in such a way that this government document turns into the basis of the students' lives. Mr. Modi said teachers have played a major role in the formulation of the policy and they have a monumental role to play in the implementation of the policy. Mr. Modi said this while interacting with the winners of the National Teachers Awards 2022 at his residence in New Delhi.
राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति बनाने में हमारे देश के टीचर्स का बहुत बड़ा रोल रहा है। लाखों की तादाद में टीचर्स ने कंट्रीब्यूट किया है इसको बनाने में। पहली बार देश में इतना बड़ा मंथन हुआ। जिन टीचर्स ने इसे बनाया है उन टीचर्स का काम है कि उसको सरकारी भाषा वगैरह बच्चों के लिए काम नहीं आती है। आपको माध्यम होना होगा कि सरकारी ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट है वो उनके जीवन का आधार कैसे बने।
Highlighting the appreciation received by the National Education Policy, the Prime Minister said that it is a step in the right direction in strengthening the education ecosystem of the country. Emphasizing the need to go through the National Education Policy more than once, the Prime Minister gave the analogy of Mahatma Gandhi, where he read the Bhagavad Gita again and again, and each time he found a new meaning. During his interaction, the Prime Minister recalled his Independence Day proclamation of Panch Pran and suggested that these Panch Prans may be discussed regularly in the schools so that their spirit is clear to the students. He added these resolutions are being appreciated as a way of the progress of the nation and we need to find a way to communicate them to the children and students. Mr. Modi highlighted the knowledge and dedication of his teachers. He pointed out that their biggest quality is a positive outlook that enables them to work with students relentlessly for their improvement. Mr. Modi said a true teacher motivates the students to dream, to achieve what is unachievable, and it is up to the teachers to mold the youth who will decide what India would look like in the Amrit Kal by 2047.
देश आजादी के अमृत काल के अपने विराट सपनों को साकार करने में जुट चुका है। तब शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में राधा कृष्ण जी के प्रयास हम सभी को प्रेरित करते हैं। इस अवसर पर मैं राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार प्राप्त आप सभी शिक्षकों को मैं बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। आज जो पीढ़ी है, जो विद्यार्थी अवस्था में है, 2047 में हिंदुस्तान कैसा बनेगा ये उन्हीं पर होने वाला है और उनका जीवन आपके हाथ में है और इसलिए आप एक क्लासरूम में बच्चों को पढ़ाते ऐसा नहीं है, आप एक सिलेबस को अटेंड करते ऐसा नहीं, आप उसके साथ जुड़ करके उसकी जिंदगी बनाने का काम और उसकी जिंदगी के माध्यम से देश बनाने का सपना लेकर के चलते हैं.
The Prime Minister said India is now the fifth largest economy in the world, leaving behind the UK, who ruled the country for 250 years. The Prime Minister highlighted the spirit of the Tiranga, which led to India achieving new heights in the world of today, and added that the spirit is essential today. The Prime Minister urged everyone to ignite the same spirit of living, toiling and dying for the country as seen from 1930 to 1942, when every Indian was fighting the British for independence.
Teachers' Day is being celebrated throughout the country today. The day is celebrated on the birth anniversary of educationist and former President Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan in recognition of his belief that teachers should be the best minds in the world. President Draupadi Murmu paid homage to former President Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan on his birth anniversary at Rashtrapati Bhavan today. Ms. Murmu also conferred the national awards to 46 selected teachers for the year 2022 in New Delhi.
पुरस्कार पाने वाले सभी शिक्षकों को मैं हार्दिक बधाई देती हूँ. ये देखकर मुझे प्रसन्नता हुई है कि आज पुरस्कृत शिक्षकगण भारत के कोने-कोने से आए हैं. उनमें एक दिव्यांग शिक्षक तथा 18 महिला शिक्षकों को पुरस्कृत करके मुझे विशेष प्रसन्नता हुई है.
President Draupadi Murmu said education in one's mother tongue inspires students, and the new education policy 2020 focuses on this aspect. The President, while paying respects to her teachers, said teachers also help students learn to cope with life's challenges.
शिक्षक दिवस के इस अवसर पर मैं अपने उन शिक्षकों का सादर स्मरण करती हूँ जिन्होंने मुझे न सिर्फ पढ़ाया बल्कि प्यार भी दिया और संघर्ष करने की प्रेरणा भी दी.
The Education Ministry organizes an annual national level function on the day every year to confer the national awards to the best teachers of the country. The country has witnessed substantial reduction in pupil-teacher ratio over the last 1 decade. According to the Ministry of Education, in primary schools, the pupil-teacher ratio, which was at 43 in 2010-11, has come down to 26.3 in 2020-21. While in upper primary schools, the pupil-teacher ratio has reduced from 33 in 2010-11 to 18.9 in 2020-21. The pupil-teacher ratio at different levels of education show availability of adequate number of teachers for teaching children enrolled at different grades. The increase in number of teachers in schools is contributing to focused delivery of education.
The University Grants Commission today launched new research fellowship and research grant schemes on the occasion of Teachers' Day. They are Savitribai Jyotirao Phule Fellowship for Single Girl Child, Dr. Radhakrishnan UGC Postdoctoral Fellowship, Superannuated Faculty Members Fellowship, Research Grant for In-Service Faculty Members, and Dr. D.S. Kothari Research Grant for newly recruited faculty members. Union Home Minister Amit Shah today said that the National Education Policy 2020 is reflective of what was envisaged by former President Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, on whose birth anniversary Teachers' Day is celebrated in the country. After inaugurating the A.M. Naik Charitable Trust School at Powai in Mumbai, Mr. Shah said if one goes through the compilation of Dr. Radhakrishnan's speeches, it would become clear what Dr. Radhakrishnan had envisaged, how primary, medium and higher education should be, and the same is reflected in the National Education Policy 2020. He said Dr. Radhakrishnan did not only embrace the basic values of the Indian education, but he spread these values across the world. Shah said it was during that time Dr. Radhakrishnan had thought of having an education policy for the country. However, unfortunately, many years have gone by in drafting the education policy, he remarked. The Home Minister said Dr. Radhakrishnan was a great teacher, intellectual, humanist, spiritual and a visionary at the same time. He spent his life in explaining different facets of education. Mr. Shah urged teachers present in the function to read about Dr. Radhakrishnan to know how an ideal teacher should be.
Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav has said the government is bringing a new version of the Data Protection Bill and the Digital India Act. He added that the government is making the online world more accountable for what is published there. Mr. Vaishnav also informed that the government will soon come out with the new telecom bill. He said it will be uploaded on the website for suggestions within 5 to 6 days. Mr. Vaishnav said that the role of telecom in the digital world is very, very important today, and tactically everything is consumed through the mobile phone. Mr. Vaishnav stated this while launching the second batch of Sai Train Setu in New Delhi. The Sai Train Setu initiative is part of Prime Minister's Mission Karmayogi, in which Mr. Modi has given a target to all the ministries to come up with innovative programs. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today called on Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in Delhi. Ms. Hasina reached New Delhi today on a 4-day visit to India. During the visit, she will hold bilateral consultations with Prime Minister Narendra Modi tomorrow. She will also call on President Draupadi Murmu and Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar.
The Health Ministry today said that more than 201 crore 93 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through the centre's free-of-cost channel and through direct state procurement category. It said more than 5 crore 34 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and UTs to be administered. As part of the nationwide vaccination drive, the centre has been supporting the states and union territories by providing them COVID vaccines free of cost. India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 213 crore 69 lakh mark. More than 15 lakh vaccine doses were administered yesterday. Health Ministry said cumulative first dose of COVID vaccine has been administered to over 102 crore 33 lakh and second dose has been administered to more than 94 crore 38 lakh. Over 16 crore 98 lakh precaution doses have been administered to the identified categories of beneficiaries, including healthcare workers, frontline workers and people above 18 years of age.
The country's overall coal production has increased by 8.27% to over 58 million tons in August this year as compared to the same month last year. The Coal Ministry said of the top 37 coal-producing mines in the country, 25 mines produced more than 100%, while the production level of 5 mines stood between 80 and 100%. Indian Railways has recorded the best ever August monthly freight loading of over 119 million ton in August this year. The incremental loading has been 8.69 million tons, a growth of 7.86% over the same month last year. The Ministry of Railways said with this, Indian Railways has had 24 straight months of best ever monthly freight loading.
The Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, has said that the Delhi Excise Policy 2021-22 case is under investigation and no clean chit has been given to any of the accused. In a statement, CBI said that mischievous and misleading statement of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, who is one of the accused in the excise policy case, is an attempt to divert attention from the ongoing investigation. The CBI has also strongly refuted Mr. Sisodia's allegation that Jitendra Kumar, Deputy Legal Advisor in charge of prosecution in the CBI, committed suicide because he was pressurized to make a false case against him. The agency said the allegation of Mr. Sisodia is mischievous and misleading. A special PMLA court has extended the judicial custody of Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut by 14 days till the 19th of September. He was arrested on the 31st of July by the Enforcement Directorate ED in connection with the alleged financial irregularities in the redevelopment of the Patra Chaul in Mumbai.
In Uttar Pradesh, at least 4 persons died and 10 were injured when a fire broke out at a hotel in Lucknow. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has ordered that Commissioner Lucknow Division and Police Commissioner Lucknow will jointly inquire into the causes of the fire incident. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces development and upgradation of 14,500 schools across the country under the Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India Yojana. Teachers play a major role in formulation and implementation of new education policy, says Prime Minister. University Grants Commission launches new research fellowship and research grant schemes on Teachers' Day. President Draupadi Murmu confers national awards to distinguished teachers on Teachers' Day. Government to bring new version of the Data Protection Bill and Digital India Act to make the online world more accountable for published items. CBI says Delhi excise policy case still under investigation. No clean chit given to any of the accused. Information and Broadcasting Ministry opens entries for 75 creative minds of tomorrow to identify and encourage young creative talents of filmmaking. Liz Truss is next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Modi congratulates new UK Prime Minister. And in Durand Cup football, Rajasthan United defeats Indian Navy by 2-0. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के पथ वाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah will formally inaugurate a year-long Telangana Liberation Day celebration on the 17th of this month. Union Tourism Minister G. Kishan Reddy informed this at the media conference held in Hyderabad today. He informed that Chief Ministers of Telangana, Maharashtra and Karnataka have been invited to take part in the inaugural ceremony to be held at Parade Grounds in Secunderabad. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry has invited entries for 75 Creative Minds of Tomorrow. The segment is an annual platform at the International Film Festival of India to identify, encourage and nurture young creative talents from across various aspects of filmmaking. The entries will be open till the 23rd of this month. The initiative was launched last year as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. It was conceptualized by Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur to provide a platform and connect young talent with the masters of industry from the media and entertainment sector. The initiative is also another step in the direction of making India a content and post-production hub for the world by identifying, nurturing and upskilling young talent. The 75 creative minds will be shortlisted and selected on the basis of their submissions by an eminent jury under the aegis of the National Film Development Corporation.
Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with the series Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio.
Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani ke Saath. Reliving the journey of India since independence over the last 75 years with All India Radio. From 15th August, the series is being broadcast on All India Radio, 100.1 FM Gold Channel, primetime news bulletins and across all its platforms. Tune in to stay updated with All India Radio.
In today's episode, we bring you the story of AIR News, a synonym for trust.
All India Radio, established in 1936, is the largest radio network in the world that broadcasts news and current affairs programs in 77 Indian and 12 foreign languages. Until the advent of television, All India Radio was the prime source of information and entertainment. Nothing can match up to the nostalgia All India Radio can evoke. Almost all of us love the signature Akashvani jingle at the break of dawn.
नमस्कार, आकाशवाणी से प्रस्तुत है समाचार प्रभात। समाचार सेवा प्रभाग प्रस्तुत करता है कार्यक्रम
आज सवेरे। समाचार सेवा प्रभाग से प्रस्तुत है कार्यक्रम
ये आकाशवाणी है। कोविड-19 विशेष कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत प्रस्तुत है कोरोना वायरस संक्रमण की वर्तमान स्थिति पर चर्चा।
This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight now, we bring you a discussion on BRICS Summit 2021.
Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am VC Pramod and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the evening news.
Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio.
All India Radio has been broadcasting a coherent mix of news, music, drama, cricket commentaries and talks on current issues. Broadcasters like Melville De Mello enthrall listeners through the baritone.
This is Melville De Mello speaking to you from the ramparts of the Red Fort in New Delhi. Now, if rain is auspicious, then this nation is thrice blessed, because it's pouring heavily here, and below me is a sea of mushroom umbrellas, and on the ramparts themselves.
Devkinandan Pandey's voice was benchmark in Hindi diction.
1915 का वर्ष भारत के आजादी आंदोलन में बड़े महत्व का साल। अफ्रीका से गांधी जी लौटे और देखते ही देखते एक गुलाम देश के करोड़ों लोगों की आशा का केंद्र बन गए। वैसे तो लोग ये महसूस करने लगे थे कि आजादी का सूरज भले ही कुछ देर से निकले मगर निकलेगा जरूर, और उनके इस विश्वास का आधार था पहले विश्व युद्ध का परिणाम।
Veteran broadcaster Amin Saini mesmerized listeners with his voice.
अरे ये बहुत पुरानी बात है। मैं करीब 9 साल का था तब मेरे बड़े भाई मरहूम हमीद सायानी साहब, जो मेरे गुरु रहे हैं ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में, वो मुझे ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के बॉम्बे स्टेशन में ले गए थे। तो उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि तुम अपनी आवाज इसमें रिकॉर्ड करके खुद सुनो। वायर रिकॉर्डर पर रिकॉर्ड करके फिर मुझे अपनी आवाज सुनाई गई तो मैं चौंक पड़ा कि भाई ये मेरी आवाज है। तब से भाई मेरा नाता जुड़ गया।
When it comes to trust and authenticity, the news media industry, news network of All India Radio outshines one and all. AIR has been voted as the most trusted electronic media organization of the country by many agencies. According to a recent survey by Reuters Institution, in 46 countries, All India Radio and Doordarshan enjoy the highest trust. June 8, 2022 marked 86 years since AIR began its broadcasting operations. Since then, radio broadcast in our country has come through a long journey, with hundreds of radio stations being established in several cities. Student-specific programs like Abhyas, Quiz on Freedom Movement and Sports Quiz have evinced interest among the new generation to consider AIR as a regular feature in the media diet. Further contributing to connecting J&K with the mainstream, a special segment Jammu Kashmir Ek Nayi Subha has been added to the already diverse bouquet of AIR programming. In order to reach out to the diaspora, AIR News has doubled the transmission in foreign languages, including in Dari, Pashto, Balochi, Nepali, Mandarin Chinese and Tibetan. Radio shows like World News Program, with focus on Indian perspective, became popular in a very short span of time. Apart from traditional and social media platforms, All India Radio is also available on DD Free Dish, DTH and DRM.
UK Foreign Minister Liz Truss has been elected as the next Prime Minister of Britain and leader of the governing Conservative Party on Monday. With the win, she becomes the third female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom after Theresa May and Margaret Thatcher. Ms. Liz defeated her rival, former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak, by 81,326 votes to 60,399 after over a 6-week-long grilling campaign. The two contenders have gone through a postal ballot of all Conservative members, numbering around 160,000 Tory electorate to replace the UK's outgoing Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Ms. Truss takes over at a time when the UK is saddled with rising inflation and is at its worst cost of living crisis. Soon after the announcement of her name, UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss in her speech said she will deliver a bold plan to cut taxes and grow Britain's economy, and they will deliver a great victory for the Conservative Party in 2024.
It's an honour to be elected as leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party. I'd like to thank the 1922 Committee, the party chairman and the Conservative Party for organising one of the longest job interviews in history. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank my family, my friends, my political colleagues and all of those who helped on this campaign. I'm incredibly grateful for all of your support.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Ms. Truss for being chosen as the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he is confident that under the leadership of Liz Truss, the India-UK Comprehensive Strategic Partnership will be further strengthened. The Prime Minister also wished her for the new role and responsibilities.
In Afghanistan, 2 Russian diplomats were killed along with several locals in an explosion outside the country's embassy in Kabul. Afghanistan's deputy spokesperson Bilal Karimi said Taliban government is investigating the incident. Russia is one of the few countries to have maintained an embassy in Kabul after Taliban took over the country more than a year ago. In the US Open, 22 Grand Slam titles champion Rafael Nadal will clash with Frances Tiafoe today for a place in the quarterfinals. In Asia Cup T20 cricket, India will play against Sri Lanka tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. in Dubai. India can still reach the final clash of the tournament if they win the remaining 2 matches against Sri Lanka and Afghanistan.
In football, Chennai FC defeated Neroka FC by 2-0 in Durand Cup at Kumar Lampak Stadium in Imphal. In another match in the evening, Rajasthan United beat Indian Navy by 2-0 at Kishore Bharati Stadium in Kolkata. On to business news. The Sensex and the Nifty today rose more than half a percent, a report from the business desk.
The Sensex climbed 443 points to trade at 59,246. The Nifty was also up 126 points to settle at 17,667. At the Forex market, the rupee weakened 5 paise to 79 rupees and 85 paise against the dollar. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures for October was trading at 50,480 rupees per 10 grams. Silver futures for September was trading at 53,450 rupees per kilogram when reports last came in. And oil prices gained more than 3.5%. Brent crude was trading at $96.45 per barrel. Nishit Kumar for AIR News.
The India Meteorological Department has predicted the possibility of heavy rain for the next 2 days in Kerala. Red alerts have been issued in the 4 southern districts, indicating the possibility of extremely heavy rainfall. Red alerts are in place in Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, Pattanamthitta and Idukki districts, while orange alerts are in place for Alappuzha, Kottayam and Ernakulam. The department has issued yellow alerts in the remaining 7 districts of the state, besides the Union Territory of Lakshadweep.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces development and upgradation of 14,500 schools across the country under the Pradhan Mantri Schools for Rising India Yojana. Teachers play a major role in formulation and implementation of new education policy, says Prime Minister. University Grants Commission launches new research fellowship and research grant schemes on Teachers' Day. President Draupadi Murmu confers national awards to distinguished teachers on Teachers' Day. Government to bring new version of the Data Protection Bill and Digital India Act to make online world more accountable for published items. CBI says Delhi excise policy case still under investigation, no clean chit given to any of the accused. Information and Broadcasting Ministry opens entries for 75 creative minds of tomorrow to identify and encourage young creative talents of filmmaking. Liz Truss is next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates new UK Prime Minister. And in Durand Cup football, Rajasthan United defeats Indian Navy by 2-0. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.